All right. Are we in? We're in. In where? Somewhere. I don't know. Don't care. Long story. Long story. Very boring. Anyway, folks, what's up? It is I again. I'm here. We're gonna talk about stuff. Superman stuff, because that is the biggest thing that's been happening right now in the world of pop, as far as things happening, new movies, all this stuff. I mean, we've got Nosferatu coming out in a couple days, which that is my most anticipated film of the year so far. So aside from Deadpool and Wolverine, this movie was on my radar since its initiation. Man, this Nosferatu to me is it's one of those films, those silent films that I always appreciated in however many different versions there are, because I mean there really is no actual version. I mean, every version you'll watch has a different tune in the background. They edit it differently, all those things. The remake that happened in I think in the late 70s, early 80s, that was fine. I don't remember too much of that, but I remember still digging it and liking it and putting it up there as one of my favorite vampire films, probably like on my top 10. Love the vampire genre. It has fallen off for me. It has fallen off a little bit because for me, vampires were always just dangerous, scary, terrifying creatures of the night. And then they kind of became some sort of like teen romance thing where I get it, the appeal, the vampire is cool, and all that stuff, but it really works better when it's a threat. And with Nosferatu coming out, I really hope that it does like respark that, the genre of the vampire, where it's dark, dangerous. It's not cute. It's not, sexy in the sense that, in the teen-esque way. This has to be like very disturbing. It has to be very unnerving, uncomfortable, awkward, scary, terrifying. Yeah, it feels like it's going to have all those things. I've seen a lot of reviews of the movie so far. So far, it's pretty good. I've heard maybe like one or two that were just kind of like thought it was okay, but nothing bad. So that has got me, the hopes are high for that. And I know someone who has seen it, and I have yet, like personally, I've yet to get, a review back from them without spoilers, of course. But looking forward to it. Just the direction, that this director, he has did his last couple of films were great. I enjoyed The Northman. Didn't think it was the greatest thing ever, but I thought it was very enjoyable. I liked it a lot. I like his vision. I like the way he like crafts a shot, because this guy I mean, this guy has, I mean, every shot for the most part. um, Say what you want about Zack Snyder. I'm not a huge fan of Zack Snyder at all, really, but every shot tends to they care. It looks like a photograph, and so Eggers can really pull that off, with the gothic horror look, that Nosferatu promises to give us. So looking forward to it. Can't wait. And I think that's like the last movie of the year, last major movie, if not is probably one of the last films that are coming out. Could be wrong. But other than that, we've got what, Sonic 3 that just came out. Blew Mufasa out of the fucking African jungle. I fucking just Sonic has been doing so well. Like Sonic 1 was good, Sonic 2 was better in my opinion, and Sonic 3 I do want to see. They're fun films for kids, but also the adults can enjoy it. It kind of takes me back to the old school kids, kind of like, movies that like appeal, that they were smart, they were written cleverly to appeal to the adults as well, by pulling in the kids, and especially with new generation, considering that people like my age, and I'm 38 years old now, who grew up with Sega Genesis and Sonic the Hedgehog and watched Sonic the Hedgehog, Steve Urkel voiced Sonic the Hedgehog, Jaleel White, so who's also in Skeleton Crew, which is a show that I tackled in. But anyway, I'll talk about that later probably or in another video. But yes, Sonic is making waves, man. It is collecting all of the gold as we speak at the box office. And Mufasa, I have no interest in seeing it. I have no interest in seeing an origin story of the brothers. We all know what happened. The most important story of those two was in The Lion King. So that's just how I see it. I don't care about the CGI live action CGI animals. I mean, to call it live action is stupid. They should just call it photorealistic like animation. Which, yeah, I mean, it's improved, but it, it just certain things just work best in old school animation medium, which is like the cartoon format, if you will. But Lion King was a great film, the first original classic, the only one. Let's be real. That movie it will stand to the test of time. It's a timeless classic. It will always be a timeless film. When people think about The Lion King, they're not going to think about the live action CGI pretend to be live action movie. They're going to talk about the animated classic. I love John Favreau. I think he is a terrific director. I just think that that film was a bad day at the office. I know a lot of hard work was probably put into that, which I'm sure, but just didn't execute well with the audience. The audience just didn't respond. They did that weekend out of curiosity. After that, it fell off, and it just, yeah. So Disney kind of sucks. And listen, it just happens to just even the most, well, I can't go there because people are biased. I was going to say even biggest Disney shill right now could probably admit that it's not doing well right now, but whatever. Well, we've got things to talk about here. Main topic of discussion. We're going to go from Disney to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, which is not the smartest studio in Hollywood, but uh, Warner Brothers in DC are pressing the reset button to the DC universe. Now, with the DC universe, that was pretty much for the past decade. That started off with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Man of Steel, in my opinion, I think it was a good movie. I liked Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he's one of the best Supermans after Christopher Reeve. But it was we had a great run with Henry Cavill. His movies could be questioned, but I enjoyed those films for what they were. I knew that they were not trying to be Marvel. Maybe they were by throwing everything in one basket, but in the long run, for myself, I did appreciate those characters coming out in live action and doing certain cool things. But I can admit, what after watching that trilogy, which would be Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, um, yeah, hitting the reset button isn't a bad idea. However, the Superman trailer premiered a couple of days ago. Everyone has been talking about it. It has got the views on YouTube is just it's crazy. I wanted to show pieces of the trailer here, but people have been getting their YouTube videos pretty much yeah, pretty much. Okay, they were just yeah. So it's just to avoid any copyright issues. I will go through a play by play in the trailer. In my next video, I will talk about it. But in this case, let's just kind of keep it, keep it cool here without pissing off anyone out there, because it's been a while since I have done a video. So let's get into this here with the Superman trailer. We do open up with David Cornsweet, his Superman. I think that's how you say his last name. His Superman is been thrown from somewhere into the ground, somewhere in the Antarctic. I'm assuming somewhere by the Fortress of Solitude or where the Fortress of Solitude was at. Maybe he got in a fight in the Fortress of Solitude and he did something badass and he just ends up on the ground and he looks like shit. Dude's bleeding, dude's all cut up and everything, right? Then something happens that I did not see coming. I don't think anyone saw coming, and that was Crypto, the super dog, and he's calling for him. He's whistling. The dog just comes, speeds right up, and takes Superman away. And that's the only dialogue that's in the trailer is when he tells Crypto home. He said, I think he says, Crypto home boy or something like that. I don't know, but Crypto grabs the cape and drags Superman out of where he was at. In the midst of this footage of him on the ground in the ice, we cut to shots of Clark Kent with a terrible fucking haircut, but whatever, I get what they're doing. Going into the Daily Planet. And this is the Clark Kent that we're getting again, which is the bumbling nerd who is pretending to be this bumbling nerd because he is Superman, which I dig. I like that. But in today's world, I think today. Now, I'm not saying like let's make the movie bleak and dark and realistic and nihilistic as fuck. No, I'm talking about like in any situation, a Pulitzer Prize journalist like Lois Lane could figure out that Clark Kent is Superman. I'm hoping and I'm praying that with this actress that they have as Lois Lane, okay, she's great. I think um, I was recommended episodes by my brother to watch The Fabulous Miss Maisel. Watched it. I thought she was great. The show, I was it's mid, but at best, I think, in my opinion. But it's not bad. It's nothing. There's nothing offensive. I just thought it was fine. She was the standout, though, and knowing that she was going to play Lois Lane, my focus was on her. She did steal the show. She did a great job. I dug it. So well, that was weird. The porch lights just came on out of nowhere. It's a poltergeist. Anyway, so she's great. I think I dig her. They show clips of her with Clark and all that stuff in the Daily Planet. The Daily Planet looks pretty much like the Daily Planet from Superman Returns. It looks like a newspaper office place thing, which is weird that in today, there wouldn't be a place like that. I mean, everything's online. I'm sure the Daily Planet would exist in some format with the globe on top in its own building. I highly doubt it, but whatever. This is a comic book, and that is fine. That's the great thing about comic book movies is you can do things like that as long as you execute it right and give people verisimilitude. You've got something that could be timeless and special, and people won't care about those little details because it's a fucking comic book movie. Um, which goes with my argument about Batman, but I'll talk about that soon. But going back to Superman in this trailer, once we see Superman being taken away by Crypto, by the way, um, not really a fan of. Let's I'm not like the biggest die hardest crypto fan. Like Superman doesn't need a crypto in his film, but it is a huge part of the mythos. So to have him in here, I think James Gunn, knowing what he did with Rocket Raccoon and Groot and all of these outlandish ideas to execute in live action, I think that he is the best person that can handle animals as far as in a comic book film. So we will have to wait and see how well executed this is. So, but if people come out and say like, I think it's fucking stupid, it gives me like childish vibes. I'm not going to argue with them. I get where they're coming from. This could be bad, but it could also be great. And here's the thing: Superman in this trailer, they show a lot of him. I don't like the suit. I mean, here's the thing: the suit I'm kind of mixed in. I dig the Kingdom Come S. He's got the briefs back, which is great. He's got the colors. He's got the bright red cape with the yellow emblem in the back. I love that. Just not a fan of the collar. It reminds me of Robert Pattinson's Batman with the collar. I don't like it. It doesn't look right. It looks dumb. So I just don't think that it works well. But you know what? I can look past that. I still think that Henry Cavill, whether you like his movies or not, you have to admit that the Superman look was terrific. The suit looked very alien. Um, his physique matches the cuts and I mean, like it just worked well. You know what I'm saying? Even Chris Reeves, the suit was the original classic suit, and it worked well because you just stuck to the look, the classic look. You can never go wrong with it. James Gunn, he's got a thing for like extra padding. I mean, his Superman's outfit looks similar to the outfits they had in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 towards the end when they were all wearing those collared spacesuits. It just I don't know. It's whatever. The cinematographer of this film is the cinematographer of The Flash. I thought The Flash had horrible cinematography, which explains why the cinematography in this trailer looks pretty bland. But the colors and all of that stuff, it looks fine, but it just doesn't have any style to it. There isn't anything there that really captured me. The score that's playing in the trailer, it's a guitar rendition of John Williams' Superman theme, but I really wish that they would have just kept John Williams' music and put it in the trailer. Like that's like the international Superman theme. That's Superman, so like why do that? And there's people saying that, James Gunn was, inspired by the Top Gun Maverick movie, which is why it does sound like Top Gun Maverick, the Superman score in that trailer. So I don't. Uh, there's things that I like, and that things that just kind of questioned, in this trailer. But I watched it over and over again, and I tried to see if I could catch things, but it's a very well done trailer. It's a trailer that gets people optimistic. It's a Superman movie that is not going to look or be anything like Man of Steel. This is something I think that Superman fans, for the most part, wanted from the beginning. But you also have a problem that you're going to run into, is that the superhero genre, it's slowly just it's people are having a massive interest deficit here when it comes to that genre. It's kind of like the Western genre in a sense, because it's fading. It's fading. There has been so many terrible comic book films that have come out within the past 5 years. And so, with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine didn't move the needle. Spider Man No Way Home didn't move the needle. They were just good movies, but there wasn't a consecutive um, number of success, with these films. So, it's dying is what I'm trying to say. The superhero genre is fading out. And so now you have James Gunn coming in with this DC reboot, and you still got people confused whether Peacemaker is part of the DCU or not. We still didn't get like a final answer. Whatever. We got an answer, but it wasn't an answer. Is what I'm trying to say. But um, like with Creature Commandos, yeah, it came out, and I think that we're supposed to think that it's good because it's James Gunn, but it's not good. I watched the first episode and I was just out. I didn't like it. I don't have to fake reaction the fucking show to get some points, so I can go pose with the directors and the stars of the movie at a premiere red carpet. I don't have to sell myself out, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, we all know, if you know, you know who I'm talking about. But um, we don't have to do that, and nor do we want to do that, because in the long run, I think it's best to be honest and possibly, celebrate later. Always looking back that how honest you were, and you didn't have to sell your soul to shit just to get some free access. But whatever. That's also pertains to Star Wars YouTubers out there. Most of them, not all of them. Calm down. Shh. Anyway, so with Superman, this trailer, this movie has to be successful. It has to be. And people rolling their eyes, going like, "Well, why? It's just a Superman movie." Super fucking man. Okay, Superman is literally one of the world's first ever superheroes, and he's an American icon. He's lasted this long, and we've gotten lots of incarnations of this character. But never has a movie been so important. And I don't know if James Gunn is feeling the pressure of that. I hope he's not just thinking, well, if I just recreate the magic for just a couple of moments in a movie, people are going to forget how mid this movie is. Um, This movie has to be spectacular. This movie has to be, I mean, it has to blow the roof off of theaters and people spreading word of mouth. Like this movie has to be that good. And I'm not exaggerating. It has to be fucking brilliant. Because if not, if you can't get a Superman movie that is supposed to jumpstart this DC universe that's been hyped up and promised for a couple of years now, if you can't get your key character, the man of the hour, the man of steel himself, Superman, if you can't get that correctly, this genre is going to just fizzle out. It's going to fizzle out. It's going to just be a fart in the fucking wind and it's not going to smell great. And I'm going to tell you right now, Superman needs to be successful. They need to stop thinking about all these other things. Stop introducing characters that are going to be in a potential Justice League movie. Do you remember there was a time, ladies and gentlemen, like when superhero movies, I was alive when it happened, when it was just one protagonist and one villain. Remember that? You didn't have to introduce a bunch of characters to set up stuff. Now, James Gunn and DC, Peter Safran, they were all saying that this is going to be focused on one story. Perfect. Okay, why is the Green Lantern in the trailer? We got Hawk Girl in there. We've got Mr. Terrific in the trailer. Uh, you've got so many of these characters, and it's like, okay, this feels like it could be Superman the movie with friends, and I feel like that's what they're trying to do here. And if that's the case, I don't know if that's going to work, folks. That's going to be kind of like a recipe for disaster. It's like, oh, I get it. You're trying to get to the Avengers now. You're not going to do that without just focus. Like, I don't, you know what? I'm at the point right now where I don't even care for shared universes anymore. I just want a good movie. As much as people give shit to the Robert Pattinson Batman film, which I dug up until the last 40 minutes or so. Um, I respect that film because it was doing its own thing. It was telling a fucking Batman story. At least it was trying to. And I respect that film because it did that. It wasn't introducing. You didn't have Barry Allen coming into Gotham City just because we're gonna see him far films from now. No, you had they did its own thing. Now whether Matt Smith, thinking about Doctor Who here, Matt Reeves, whether he wants to implement that within the existing DC universe James Gunn is initiating, we'll see. I think that they're sitting on money with Batman here. If you take Robert Pattinson's Batman and you make that part of the universe that a fucking dog, super dog, lives in, that will be awesome because then it shows the dynamic between both. And people are going to sit there and go, well, it doesn't make sense because that's a realistic world and this is a comic book world. That is the whole fucking point. If you ever read a comic book between of those two, you'd understand that is the whole point. That's the exciting thing, is that imagine watching the Penguin and you're watching this amazing show where this monstrous mafioso prick, and you see um, Sophia Falcone and all of them. Meanwhile, you're thinking in the back of your head, you're like, crypto exists in this world. You're sitting on fucking money. You're sitting on money. You're sitting on something that actually could work. And if they could do that, if the reports are true that James Gunn wants to do that, fine. I agree 100%. Brave and the Bold is a bad idea. From what I'm hearing, they can't get a draft. I don't know if they started writing. Doesn't even matter. Brave and the Bold is not a great adaptation to do for Batman. If you want to restart the universe, it's a terrible fucking idea. Um, you have a Batman, and thanks to your Penguin series, you had people who don't even like the Batman movie watching the Penguin. Now they are waiting for part two of the Batman. So you've got now people invested in a world thanks to the Penguin. Otherwise, all of this is just going to be its own thing. And that's fine, but it would be dumb just to have two cinematic Batmans happening at the same time. It would be even also dumb to have a cinematic Batman happen a couple of years, even 5 years after you just had this Batman with a terrific universe that's already built into it. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Penguin show and the potential that you can get into in that universe. Why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like why not? But what do we know? What do we know? But that's the Superman trailer looks great, but if you watched every teaser trailer for Superman, like Superman Returns, Man of Steel, um, their teaser trailers were leaps and light years better than this trailer. Superman Returns. Say what you want about the film. The movie's not all that great, but it's actually the movie's kind of shit. But that trailer, those trailers, wasn't afraid to be a Superman trailer. You know what I mean? John Williams' music is timeless, and it's Superman's music. It's a superhero theme. Keep that in there. You know what I'm saying? If they would have had John Williams' theme in there, would it make the trailer better? It would have made it better, but would have it made it better than those two other teasers? No, it wouldn't. Um, because in this trailer, we've seen a lot of the stuff that we've seen in this trailer before. We're just excited that there's a new Superman movie, and we're hoping that it's great. And like I said, if it's great and this movie makes a lot of money, that's off to a great start. Is it going to be enough? No. You're going to need at least two massive hits from DC. And for the life of me, I don't know why they are not doing like if you're doing Superman, they're doing Supergirl, which I'm cautiously optimistic. I just don't like Tom King. Tom King sucks. His adaptation to adapt from Tom King. That's the thing I worry about is James Gunn is trying to adapt comics from terrible eras. Um, because this Superman also looks a lot like 52 era Superman, and 52 era fucking sucked. So Batman was done okay, but like I said, Brave and the Bold would be a terrible choice. It wouldn't be brave, nor it would be bold to do so. It would be a terrible idea. You've already got people invested in a world. This Batman, um, let's use that and shake it, man. Fucking use those ingredients and make something special. Make something special. Give Superman 2, 3 solo films first. Um, let's get Batman 2, 3 solo films first. Same with Wonder Woman. Same with every character. You want a character to kind of have his own time for a while, because then think about having a Justice League movie, you know, um, and having all those characters together. It'd be exciting. It'd be exciting. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, like Nicholas Hoult looks great as Lex Luthor. David Corenswet. I mean, he looks like Superman. I mean, he's not as chiseled as Cavill. I mean, he's like a dime store version of Cavill, but he still looks like Superman. Um, I have a huge feeling that they're going to take a lot of things from Superman the movie, kind of do a metal version of that with friends. Um, you got the Green Lantern, which is Nathan Fillion, and you've got Mr. Terrific. You got all these other characters in it. I don't know how they play into the film. I hope that it's not a lot of them. I want it to be a Superman movie. So, yeah. So we'll see. We will see next July. I'm sure there will be another trailer that comes out before then. But like I said, this movie, yeah, it's not just another superhero film. It's Superman. This is the movie that is going to decide the fate of the superhero genre. I'm not the only one saying that. Gary from Nerdrotic uh, talks heavily about that subject because it is true. I wasn't aware of it until I saw a couple of people, including him, talking about how this movie, and it really does, everything has failed thus far. I mean, like everything has failed. Everything. Um, we had a Batman and Superman movie that came out almost 10 years ago and nobody liked it. So it's not just Superman, it's the fate of the superhero genre. This right now is hanging. This franchise, this genre is hanging by a thread, and it needs to be recoursed, and it needs to be brought back big time, in the best way. And if you do that with a Superman movie, you launch you launch that with the hero of all heroes, Superman. Okay, it's not Iron Man. This is not Shazam. It's Superman. Okay, truth, justice, and the American way. It's 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 got to stick to the landing. It's got to hit big. It's got to be massive. It's got to be successful. And I hope it does. I hope this is the best Superman movie, out there. All of our skepticism is laid to rest, but we will see. Only time will tell. And as far as the poster goes, the poster was released. Everyone made a big deal. It's okay. Poster's a poster. It's cool. It's cool. Very classic. But you got to change the font on that sucker because, man, it just went Superman. Superman. Use the font that they did in the trailer. That blue inspired, Superman the movie esque logo. I don't know. Use the comic book logo. Fuck, I don't know. See, there it did. It did it again. It did it again. It's Nosferatu. He's coming to seduce me. I better check my covers, or my pants, or my underwear. I don't know. That's why there's an itch there. It's Nosferatu itching my asshole. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing some videos here. I'll be back with another video soon. I do want to talk about a play-by-play of the Superman trailer, but also get into some analysis. There's a lot of butt talk on this channel so far. Anyway, but yes, I do want to analyze that trailer and talk about it with you guys and discuss. But you guys can also you guys can also comment down below, discuss amongst yourselves, because I will be back. I will be doing some stuff also during the holidays. So if I can't get to you fast, I will be back. But yes, I'm here. I have found placement. And Merry Christmas, folks. I know it's the holiday season. We've had a lot of ups and downs. It's been a crazy year for myself, but we all live and we all move on, and we all move on to bigger and better things. And remember, if anyone has done you wrong, just remember you are not the problem. You're going to go off and do great things. Um, just don't let anyone mess with you. Don't let anyone hurt your feelings. Don't let anyone disappoint you. Don't carry it with you. You just move on. Just flush all that shit down the toilet and just watch your life unfold. So, but yes, I do believe in karma. Karma follows. If you start something that's dishonest, that's predicated on dishonesty, dishonesty will follow, and it will bite you in the ass when you least expect it. Um, so yeah, folks, don't do bad things. Be good, be kind, and but also stand up for yourself. Don't let anyone put you down. Don't let anyone, spoon feed you BS. Okay. And I am also talking to you because this is possibly maybe the second to my last video of the year, before Christmas. But I just want to say that I am thankful for everything that I do have in my life. I do have a good support system. I think people are great. As cynical and as pessimistic as I can sound and come off as, I do believe in people. I do believe in humanity. I believe in you, my subscribers, everyone that's out there who has supported me over the years, who have guided me, who have given me, you know, um, criticism to course correct, all of those things. I truly thank you because I couldn't be the person I am without any of you guys and anybody who is also in my personal life, and that I include. So thank you guys. You guys have been awesome. And what's great about you guys is that for the most part, the ones that I interact with, we all have differences of opinion, but we all share a common love, and that is movies. That is movies, comics, toys, TV, cartoons, pop culture in general. You name it. It's fun. and I love talking about this stuff. And I hope and look forward to actually talking with more YouTubers out there. Um, to just shoot the shit and just get into the discussion and figure this thing out together and course correct, or at least add in a voice, to course correct, the things that were tarnished, the franchises that we love, the comics that we love, all of those things. It's going to take a lot of work, but it's fun and it's great. And again, thank you all, and you guys are awesome. And I will be back. But until then, I'm out. Peace.